Republicans out here banning books? Hell yeah! Get rid of all them books! My freedom was threatened when Carhartt made all their employees get the jab, thanks to all them liberals. Well, no more! I don't want to read about no Holocaust or Japanese internment. I don't want to read about nothing. Reading is for communists.
You're the Candace Owens of ESPN, is what.
Wait, what? Where did you read that?
I forget where I read it, but it made me laugh.
Wow. I respect the hell out of Candace Owens.
Remember ESPN's Sage Steele?
I think it's comical. I think that if Colin Kaepernick, I just think he would still be on the Niners if he were that good.
A person who loves spewing right-wing talking points.
If he were that good, someone would have picked him up.
He wasn't fired for what he did. He was fired because he's not good enough to be a starter in the NFL.
That is disrespectful. In your view, Mr. President, should Colin Kaepernick get an opportunity to play in the NFL?
Only if he's good enough.
See what I mean?
What happens when you fill out your census? I'm like, well, I don't know when the last time I filled out my census was, but if they make you choose a race, she's like, what are you going to put? I go, well, both. She's like, well, you can't. She goes, well, what if Barack Obama chose black and he's biracial? I'm like, well, congratulations to the president. That's his thing. I go, I think that's fascinating considering his black dad was nowhere to be found, but his white mom and grandma raised him. But hey, you do you.
Carrie Champion, a former co-worker of hers and a person who looked up to Steele, spoke on it.
I wonder what you felt when you heard Sage Steele saying that.
A lot of people, myself included, before I even started working at ESPN, Sage was considered a role model in a lot of ways for a lot of young brown girls. My reaction was simply disappointed because, first of all, it implied so many things that were hurtful, and it also shows that there's just a lack of unawareness on her part.
All of her comments that she had made thus far, because it was quite the week, because actually it started with her comparing the children that had been, the children that were either infected by coronavirus or had been killed by the virus to the children in Chicago. Because, you know, that's the thing to do.
As did another ex-coworker, Jamil Hill, pointing out Steele's illogical faults. Now, you likely saw in a very attention-grabbing headline put out by Steele and her team that she's suing ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. She claims part of the reason is because of what she said on her own free will in a podcast with former Bears quarterback Jay Cutler.
Mandate it is sick. And it's scary to me in many ways. You know what? You want to see what my face looked like when I had to do it? The mandate is what I really have an issue with. But I do know for me personally, I feel like defeated, and it hurt. And I'm tough, but like I think she like put it in the muscle and was like,
You're getting
maybe
this
she
shot.
thought I was Candace Owens. I don't know.
So she's against a private company issuing a vaccine mandate and joked those giving her the jab stabbed her because they thought she was an alt-right troll. Got it. According to her lawsuit, after Miss Steele's remarks drew criticism in the press and on social media, ESPN forced her to issue an apology and temporarily benched her. The suit was served in Connecticut, where the network is based. They add, ESPN also retaliated by taking away prime assignments and failing to stop bullying and harassment by Miss Steele's colleagues, the suit alleges. First, Sage is likely referring to a special ESPN put on in the summer of 2020, as the George Floyd protests continued and the country faced a racial reckoning, or at least we thought it did, until conservatives held up legislation and wrote blank checks to police departments.
No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
The country, at least at the time, felt like progress was going to be made. Steele, a person who attacks black players that took a knee to protest systemic racism and police brutality, a person who said, and I quote, "People come to us for their sports, and that I think we leave social and political issues to the news networks," a modern-day classic, we should stick to sports and only sports mantra. Steele, the kind of person who publicly blames protesters for holding up her day when the 45th president issues the Muslim ban. Sage Steele, the kind of person who supports Larry Elder, a man who has said,
"Would you have voted in favor or against the civil rights legislation of 1964? Yes, I would have voted against it."
Could you just answer my question? George Zimmerman like he's some sort of criminal. He's not a criminal. He's a guy who cares about his neighborhood. He's a neighborhood watch guy. Don't you want people who are proactive?
Yeah, that guy, Larry Elder, a man who said on a show with none other than Candace Owens that slave owners deserve reparations for lost property after the Civil War. This is who Steele cheers on.